Hey there guys, so the last time in the anime, we saw that our protagonist was reborn as an S-class monster, but he accidentally ran into an earth dragon and barely escaped. But he could have died from blood loss when an adventurer named Arya saved him. So to repay her kindness, our boy decided to protect Arya when she went off to the dungeon again. And there he saved Arya from a goblin mage. So Arya was overjoyed and went to the guild, but a vermin named Casman was after Arya. So our boy saved Arya once again, and watching that, Arya decided to adopt him and name him Tama. But later Casman returned with an order from a noble to execute Tama. So Arya fought Casman to save her pet, but Casman was more powerful than her. And Tama used his skill to assist Arya. Tama thought his cover was blown up, that he's a monster, but Arnold guessed that Tama is an elemental cat, not a monster, so that saves him from the trouble. Then a new morning starts and Tama just nudged in Arya's ear. But Arya just got so into it that she asked for some more. And after doing it some more, Arya came in to meet her blacksmith friend Vulcan. She was a pretty tiger beastman, and even Vulcan had heard about the elemental cat Arya adopted recently. So Vulcan wished to hold him just once, and Arya didn't have any problem, and puts Tama onto Vulcan. And being reincarnated as a cat is like a dream come true. But aside from that, Arya was hoping that Vulcan could make an armor for Tama, and Vulcan was super on board with the idea and took the measurements instantly. Then she worked all night long and finished the work until morning. Armor turned out to be cute and good, and even Vulcan enjoyed making out for Tama, but the problem was in Arya's dual sword. She couldn't make it lighter, and even after trying she just couldn't. But then she got the idea to form a party and get to the dungeon so that she could watch Arya fight and find out the problem. But despite being a blacksmith, Vulcan was extremely powerful and cleared out a way. But then she got hit with a flame attack, and yet nothing happened to her. So she revealed she had used a skill enchantment she took from her smithing skill that makes her a pretty good adventurer. But then a orc came across their way, and now it was Arya's turn. That orc looked perverted to the core, yet Arya used her speed. But the orc saw it coming and blocked it. So Tama jumps in to lend a hand to Arya. But Arya was disappointed, and Vulcan saw that her long blade makes her too easy to read. But Vulcan had just the right monster Arya could fight. It was a tentacle monster, and as one could guess, it would wrap a girl around its tentacles. Yet Arya still jumps in to fight. She dodges its attack, but still couldn't close the gap between them. Then she even lost her sword, but she got a lot faster after that. She was even able to move swiftly, but her blade broke out, and she got a dagger from the Vulcan. And thanks to that she took care of one monster, and then her speed even exceeds more, which clears things up that dagger suits her more than a long sword. Then Arya cuts out its tentacles, and that monster released some nasty stuff. Arya got sullied, and that ticked her off, because only Tama has permission to do this, so she killed it off brutally. And Tama took a bite to get its skill, and even after that Arya was going nuts, and kept stabbing it to her heart's content. Only after then Arya opened up that she wanted to become just like the Sword Saint, but now she knows she's not cut out for long sword like her, as these knives were more suitable. And then Vulcan suggests going deeper into the dungeon, but first they stop to take a break near a safe spot. It had a place to wash up, and it was protected by a philosopher's stone. That reminds Arya about something, but she lets it go and gets ready to jump in. Then there Arya asked Vulcan about her party, and unfortunately, it split up after two members got hooked up and the lady got pregnant, which happens all the time in party. But Vulcan warned Arya that elemental cats could crossbreed. Tama realized he does have that skill, and even so, Arya was completely on board with the idea and wanted Tama to grow up quickly so they could start doing business. At this point, anyone would think her brain has left her, so let's leave it at that. And after resting, they discovered a minotaur which was far stronger than any other monster. Arya couldn't cut out, and Vulcan couldn't get through its defense. So Arya used her speed to dodge and counterattack, but Tama was focused on her racks rather than her skills. But he quickly saved Vulcan from the rubbles, and Vulcan got impressed, and Arya then finished it off with double stab, and Vulcan started to fall for Tama. Then they brought their hunt to Arnold, and he noticed Arya has switched from longsword, so he was happy Arya is growing stronger, and to celebrate, Vulcan and Arya sat down to drink. Arya appreciated Vulcan's and Tama's help, and Vulcan thought of forming their own party, That way she could also keep Tama's armor in check. Arya had never formed a party, so she was excited. And Tama also gave his consent to accept the offer. So they drank pretty hard, and Vulcan crashed at Arya's place. But Tama was in heaven. And Arya and Vulcan both were seeing Steamy dream about Tama. But Tama saw he's now eligible for evolution. But he could take a terrifying form of a behemoth. And if that happens, he will have to leave Arya. And he doesn't want that. So it was good thing evolution was a choice, so Tama ignored it. And just like that, he spent his days with Tama and Vulcan. And then Arya and Tama were out in the town. But they saw two goons beating up a kid because she ran into them. One of them thought of selling her off. And just as Arya arrived, they noticed she was the one with the elemental cat, so they ran away. Taking that chance, Arya checks up on the kid. Her name was Lala, and unfortunately, she didn't have any parents or a home to return to. So Arya brought her to a church where all the orphans leaves. Kids loved Zarya, and sister took Lala in without a thought. Arya had brought many kids here, and she even checks up on them. Truly a kind girl, and Tama wanted to do everything to keep her safe. Then, one day, as they returns back from the dungeon, Arnold congratulates Arya on ranking up, but a quest was gathering too much attention about the demons kidnapping humans relentlessly. So Arya decided to take this job. But our episode 2 ends right there, so stay tuned to watch another episode of this anime. For that, subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Till then, take care.